Hi, my name is Apolline and I'm a homeopath, and I just wanted to take a moment to share a revelation I had a few years ago about how homeopathy can be explained from a science perspective, which was a huge revelation to me because I didn't believe that could be possible because I came from a science background and for years thought homeopathy was nonsense. So just to give a little bit of context, I was 14 when I got a Saturday and holiday job working in a pharmacy, and I was really lucky to work with a pharmacist who saw my passion for learning and saw my complete fascination with the drugs in the pharmacy and encouraged me to learn about them. So much so that by the time I was 16, I knew the indications and contraindications of almost every drug in the pharmacy, and had this amazing moment when I was 16 of seeing a prescription where a doctor had prescribed two drugs that shouldn't be prescribed together, and I was able to point that out to the pharmacist, much to his delight. So I loved pharmacy, went to uni to study pharmacy. I couldn't unfortunately get through the exams even though I was bright enough, and then went and studied psychology instead. But my love of medicine never left me. But because of that background, to me homeopathy was nonsense. It was just a sugar pill, energy medicine. You know, what are people talking about? That's nonsense. I can understand herbal medicine because almost every pharmaceutical drug at some point in its development comes from a plant. But homeopathy just didn't make any sense at all. And yeah, I had these amazing experiences that made me question that. The first was being pregnant with my son, and 4 months in, had this moment where I'd had really bad morning sickness, and I didn't have myasthenia gravis, but I did have it badly enough that I was vomiting most days. And I tried everything, of course, and a friend of a friend who's a homeopath gave me this one remedy. And that was it. That was the end of my morning sickness. And I was like, that's interesting. And didn't really take it much further than that. But it was when my son was 6 weeks old that I really had a huge eureka moment, because I gave him a remedy for his colic. I tried everything I could think of. Nothing was working for his colic. And he had colic really badly. And it's such an awful thing to watch a child have. And he was lying on his back like a little beetle, all curled up, bless him, just crying. And I gave him a remedy for it, and had this remarkable moment where he just stopped crying and he unfurled his little body, and that was the end of his colic. And I was like, wow, there's something in this. I knew I just watched something remarkable, because it couldn't have been the placebo that had led to that reaction from him. So at that point, my ears pricked up, as it were. I just thought, oh, there's something here. And then later was diagnosed with my own autoimmune disorder, where at times I felt like I was 80 years old, and very rheumatic, with swollen and painful joints, finding it difficult to move, and other aspects to the condition. And going from that almost overnight to being able to run and walk and feel completely normal in my body again, and full of energy and vitality and youthfulness. And it led me to studying it and becoming a homeopath. And during my studies, I wanted to be able to explain it scientifically, because I was still in that place where I was like, I know it works, I see it works, but it didn't make any sense to me. And I had this lovely revelation. It was a bit like Newton's moment with his apple. It was one of my equivalents, where I was thinking about the atom. And I realised in exploring the atom that I had my explanation of why it is that homeopathy works. So when we think about the atom, if you go back to your school days, if you don't kind of think about the atom much nowadays in your life, and the atom is depicted as being this round circle, this nucleus, with like lots of little balls in it, as it were, protons and neutrons in it, and then all this energy flowing around the outside in terms of the electrons that flow around the outside. Well, Einstein said that everything is energy, and basically what quantum physicists have been able to explain is that the atom, when you look at it, it's only 1% physical, but it's 99% space or energy. That's the energy flowing around the outside the nucleus. We're made of atoms. So that means that we are 1% physical matter and 99% space or energy ourselves. And there are organisations all around the world studying us as energy beings, which is what we are. So, including the HeartMath Institute, who are measuring that the energy of the heart moves out 20 feet outside of the body, which is remarkable measurements that they're able to make. So we are 1% physical and 99% space or energy. So it makes sense to use a medicine that speaks to the energy field. And that's what homeopathy does. Homeopathy takes a physical substance and dilutes it and dilutes it and dilutes it and dilutes it to the point where there's no physical matter. And then by giving that into the body, what you're doing is you're in effect giving a catalyst to the body, to the energy field, to say these are the symptoms you're experiencing. This is what's making you feel a bit sick, and the body then can go, oh, I know how to make myself well again. It's like the hair of the dog principle. Give a little bit back of what's causing the issue, and you're like, oh, I get it, I can make myself well. But that's the other thing with homeopathy that I absolutely love. It doesn't seek to control or suppress or block or stop anything. It's about strengthening the vital force. It's our core life force energy, so that we can heal ourselves if that's what we would like to do. And that means that it's about really loving and empowering us, about saying, I believe in the body's innate ability to heal itself. And that's a very powerful statement to make in terms of wellness. And as a homeopath, I see it do amazing things all of the time. It's such a remarkable gift to get to work with this medicine. From seeing people who are emotionally in so much pain for all sorts of really, really awful reasons, and to be able to give a remedy and then watch them 10 minutes later be able to breathe and feel back into their bodies again and feel peacefulness, and to be able to get up and get on with what they need to do. Eczema, I've seen it do so many amazing things with eczema. There's one patient I'm thinking of in particular who was wet wrapping before bed. What that meant was that they were literally mummifying themselves, covering themselves from the neck down in wrappings, because they would scratch themselves raw overnight. Literally their whole body would be bleeding. So and to watch over a period of several months, that eczema just get better and better and better and better, and which is amazing. Cases with children, with working with women at different stages in their life cycles, and transitions, and it's the most remarkable thing to witness, how energy can be used to make ourselves well. That for me is the science. I used it to write a book, Nature's Medicine Code. I wrote a book in 2018 describing that, about the atom, my realisation about that in relation to the atom, but also my realisation about how the body can recognise what is going to generate wellness and health within the body in terms of the food and medicine we put in it, and how it can recognise what isn't going to make it healthy and well, and what it does about that. And that's really beautiful, based on the geometry and very simple but beautiful mathematics found in nature. So yeah, I just want to invite you to give it a go.